guys? Orm Swarm coming at you guys again today. Gonna do the Lions at the Falcons, the aftermath. What a game, man! What a game! Absolutely speechless. Stafford did it again, but let's get right to it. Quarterback Matthew Stafford went 25 for 36, 340 yards through the air, one touchdown, one big touchdown, no interceptions, took a couple sacks. He was at a 69% clip, completion percentage. He was really good. He played really well on Sunday, guys. He played well. He didn't throw all kinds of touchdowns. I thought he'd throw at least 2 or 3. He didn't, but he threw an important one, though. But he was really crisp. He was good. He was aware. Aware of his surroundings. He used his feet well. He was good. Matt Ryan, on the other side, went 31 for 42 at a 73% completion percentage. He was good, too. 338 yards, 1 touchdown, which is really good for Detroit's defense. 0 picks, and he took 2 sacks as well. Both these guys played well, guys. They went through the air. Just like I thought they probably would. Took care of business, did their thing. Both of these guys didn't throw a lot of touchdowns. I thought there was going to be more, to tell you the truth, obviously, but it never happened that way, and that's okay. But it was a good, sound game between both quarterbacks. Now, running backs wise, Peterson led the way for us with 11 carries for 29 yards, no touchdowns, only at a 2.6 yards per carry. Swift went 9 for 27. Stafford had 1 carry for 8 yards. And Amendola had 1 carry for 3 yards. Wasn't really a big running game, guys. 67 yards total for us. Wasn't good at all on the ground. Didn't do anything. Swift did have a touchdown, though. He actually did have a touchdown. Sorry, yeah. Swift had a touchdown on the ground. It was a 1-yard touchdown. 1 or 2 yard touchdown. So he does have a nose for the ball. The kid has an uncanny nose for the ball. It just he reminds me of like a Marcus Allen. He just gets in the end zone. You know what I mean? It's he's a special kid. He's a special kid. And on the other side, Todd Gurley went 23 carries for 63 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brian Hill, their backup, went 2 carries for 3 yards. He didn't do much. And Zacchaeus went 1 carry, but he got no yards on that carry. He's their wide receiver. He's like their 4th wide receiver. They only had 66 yards on the ground, guys. So we stuffed them in that part, which was really good for the Detroit defense. And they played well against the run. They really played well against the run, the defense. Now receiving, a little bit different. Galladay, 6 catches for 114 yards, no touchdowns. You got to pay this guy, guys. This guy is he's showing why he's the number 1. And every week you don't pay this kid. Every week you don't pay this kid, you're burning. Bob Quinn, Sheila Ford, Patricia, whoever, you know what I mean? You guys are burning. Because he is showing week in and week out why he's the number 1 and why he wants big money. Now, I have a feeling he's going to get franchise tag, but that's a whole other subject and a whole other day. But he went 6 for 114, no touchdowns on 7 targets. Marvin Jones finally showed up. We finally had a Marvin Jones sighting. Thank God for him. It was 5 catches for 80 yards on 6 targets. Amendola went 3 for 62, had a couple big catches on 4 targets. Hawkinson went 5 for 59, 1 touchdown. And we'll talk about that touchdown in a bit. It was the big touchdown on 6 targets. He's slowly turning into a really good tight end. Now it's going to be tough because he was drafted in the 1st round, top 10. Apparently you're not allowed to draft tight ends in the 1st round, but this kid's starting to show already how much of a difference he is. Swift went 4 catches for 21 yards, no touchdowns on 4 targets. Isaac Nada had a catch for 3 yards on 1 target, and Peterson had 1 catch for 1 yard. So overall, the receiving was nice. Stafford threw for a bunch of yards, and he used a few guys in there. Now on their side, Julio Jones went 8 catches for 97 yards on 9 targets. Calvin Ridley went 5 for 69, and he had a touchdown. Hayden Hurst went 6 for 68 on 7 targets. Russell Gage went 6 for 54 on 7 targets. Brian Hill, 3 for 27. Gurley, 2 catches for 19 yards. Brandon Powell, the ex-Lion, had 1 catch for 4 yards on 2 targets. So the same kind of deal. Matt Ryan went off in the air, but the Detroit defense held them in check for the most part. Held them out of the end zone, which is the big thing. We all knew Ryan was going to get the yards. It's inevitable that was going to happen. We all knew that would happen. Both sides of the ball, Stafford and Ryan. But Ryan, he had a good day. He just couldn't get in the end zone much. Just the one time with Calvin Ridley, and that's good. Now off to our defense, guys. Our defense. Dale Roberts had 6 tackles. Javon Curse had Jaron Curse had 4 tackles and 1 assist. Jeff Okudah had 4 tackles. Romeo Aqua had a huge day. He had 3 sacks, 2 sacks, 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble on a beautiful strip sack on Ryan. It was nice. Harmon had 3 tackles. Tracy Walker had 3 tackles and 2 assists. Deshaun Hand, 3 tackles, 1 forced fumble as well. But I think it was recovered by Atlanta, but he jarred the ball loose. Oruwariye had 3 tackles, 1 assist. Jamie Collins, 2 tackles, 4 assists. Ragland, 2 tackles, 2 assists. Tavai, 2 tackles, 2 assists. Nick Williams, 1 tackle, 1 assist. Danny Shelton, who had a really good game as well, had 1 tackle, 4 assists. So he was in on a lot of tackles. Mabin and then Davis and Pennicini all had a tackle each. On their side of the ball, Ken O'Neill, their top safety, one of the top safeties, had 10 tackles, 1 assist, and a sack. He had a pretty good day. Olakan, that linebacker that I was talking about, had 4 tackles, 5 assists, so he was in on a lot of plays. Deion Jones had 3 tackles, 1 assist, and a sack on a blitz too as well. Sheffield had 3 tackles, 3 assists. Stephen Meads, one of their defensive ends, one of their backup DNs, had 2 tackles, 3 assists. Prater was huge too as well. I went 3 for 4 and 2 extra points, hit a 51 long, nailed a 48-yard extra point to win the game because of Danny Amendola being pretty stupid. And Jack Fox was great too. He punted the ball like no other. He was really good. But the game, as the game went along, it was a really good game. His first quarter, Swift got a touchdown on the goal line, make it 7-0. The Falcons put 2 touchdowns on the board in the second. Gurley on the goal line, Ridley on a 4-yard strike. That made it, and then Prater hit a field goal. That hit a 50-yarder. That made it 10-14 Atlanta. Prater hit a field goal in the third, made it 13-14, low scoring in the third. And then Prater hit another field goal in the fourth, 49-yarder. Gurley got a 10-yard touchdown at the end of the game with about a minute and change. Thought the game was done. It was a really good play. It was a really good play call by Patricia by letting him score. The Gurley comes in, tries to get in there. You can see his momentum's carrying him. Nobody touched him. I think it was either Christian Jones or I can't think. It was either Christian Jones or Jamie Collins that could have lit him up right at about the 5. Didn't touch him. Will Harris comes up to safety for Detroit, kind of wraps his arms around Gurley and kind of motions him into the end zone. And then by the time Gurley knew what was going on, he's in the end zone. So they scored, and that put them up. That put them up, and then Stafford had to come back with 1 minute and 4 seconds, guys. 1 minute, 4 seconds, and 0 timeouts. No timeouts on the clock at all, and he had to drive 75 yards to go down. And you guys know what happened. Hawkinson almost blew it, kind of, because he caught the ball, turns around, hits a guy, doesn't go out of bounds right away. He should have went out right away, but at those Iowa tight ends, they don't want to go out of bounds. You know what I mean? So that kind of messed them up a little bit, but they got in there. Stafford spiked it right away. Then he threw a big ball to Amendola. Then he threw another ball to Kenny Golladay, a huge strike for about 30 yards that got him down. Spiked it again. Bunch of melee going on. We got it off. Got the spike off. There was penalties all over the place. There's penalties. There was challenges. There's challenges upstairs. Because when Golladay caught that ball, nobody really knew if he caught it. It looked like he caught it right away, and he obviously caught it. But it was a pretty good challenge upstairs because it did look close. I thought we were going to get screwed in it. I honestly did. I thought we were going to get screwed, but it was too good of a catch. It was too good of a catch. There was no denying that he caught that football, and so Stafford spiked it with 2 seconds to go. What do you know? Play comes in. Stafford, I thought he was swallowed up, comes around, goes around, steps out, hits Hawkinson coming across the goal line. He's about 5 yards in. He's about 5 yards into the end zone, 5-6 yards into the end zone, and just literally Stafford throws a dart. Hawkinson catches it. Game over. Now, this is again Stafford showing why he's not the issue in Detroit. Okay, it was vintage Stafford. It was like his 36th comeback. He's way up there with quarterbacks doing this. His fourth quarter drives are amazing for comebacks, for wins, for whatever he needs to do. And then everybody always wants to say, hey, why can't this guy just do this on the regular? You know what, man? You know what? He does. But it's like, and you can't do it every single time. You can't do it every time. Now, this defense showed up today, okay? They showed up, well, Sunday, not today. They showed up on Sunday. Their run defense was phenomenal. Played a lot of zone. They were able to do some things. They were able to blitz. They were able to even sneak a little bit of man in, hide that man coverage in with a little bit of zone looks. They just did it all. Patricia was on point with a big challenge too. He made a really great call. It actually was Stafford on a 12-man red flag. Patricia threw it, but Stafford made the call. They snapped the ball and they got Atlanta to have 12 men on the field, and then Stafford made the call right away to the ref. He's pointing. I think he was yelling at the sideline, yelling at Patricia. So Patricia threw the flag, and then Patricia puts Jack Fox out there because it was third down. It happened on a third down, so it became fourth down. So they went out and punted. They had Jack Fox pretending that he was going to snap the ball, pretending going up and down the line. He even went under center, trying to get the guys to jump offside. But what he was really trying to do was get that coaching staff to look upstairs and see that play. And lo and behold, that Atlanta Falcon guy didn't get off the field in time. And that was huge. I think that was in the third quarter. I forget when that was, but it was a big play at the time because it started the Lions with a fresh new set of downs because they were punting. Because they were actually punting. So it started with a fresh new set of downs. And I think we even kicked a field goal after that. So we got points on the board. But it was a great game. It was a fun game to watch. The cardiac cats actually are back. That's what we used to call them like a few years ago. That's what, winning their late games like that, like they always do. It was just a fun game to watch, guys. It was a really fun game to watch. Defensively, we knew they were going to get torched through the air. You know what I mean? But for the most part, Okudah and Awarrior actually held their ground. They held their ground against two of the best wide receivers in the league, I think, man. It seemed like Awarrior and Okudah were both kind of like flip-flopping between Julio and Calvin Ridley. They were kind of, it didn't seem like one guy was on one guy and one guy on the other. It was a flip-flop, something that's going to be good because I think Awarrior is the type of guy that should be a number one guy most of the time. But it's good that you see Okudah on a guy like Julio Jones. It's good. He's learning, man. He's learning and he's going to learn. And I thought he had a pretty decent game, Okuda. He got burned a couple times again, but it's gonna happen. Aurier got burned. I think Aurier got burned on the touchdown by Ridley. I think he was on Ridley for that touchdown. But it was a good game overall. Offensively, through the air, we were nice. Deep on the ground, not so much. Defensively, we shut down the run pretty much. They let up a couple touchdowns, but they were goal line touchdowns. But we didn't give up big plays on the ground. Through the air, we did. But that trio of Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and Calvin Ridley is next to impossible to stop. And they got a really good tight end, Hayden Hurst. So we won the game 23-22. Puts us at 3-3 on the year, guys. Huge game coming up against the Colts. I believe the Colts are 4-2. We're finally at home. It seems like we haven't been at home forever. We're at home 1:00, and we play Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. So gotta win this one, guys. Let's go Lions. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the bottom right. Like and comment, guys. It's all about the likes and comments. Negative, positive, doesn't really matter. I'll try to get back to everybody I can, and I usually do. And don't forget to hit that bell. Ring the bell for all notifications. You get all my videos, man. But it was a good game by the Lions, guys. We're 3-3. We won 2 in a row. Let's make it 3 in a row. Go Lions. Boom.